rooms for them. A good problem to have, but nevertheless a problem because they didn't have a big enough monastery. So they had to build an addition to the existing monastery. And after he had drawn up the plans and did all of the research, he went to his superior and said, "Well, Father, I've done my work, my homework, I've done all the research, but I just don't know how this is possible because, it's going to cost us so much. I have no idea how we're ever going to pay for this." And his superior, he said, "Oh, you're right, it's a big amount of money. But, I said, do we really need this building? Do we really need this addition?" And he said, "Well, yes, Father. We have 2 and 3 months to a room. We have nowhere to put them. We really need this building." And he said, "Okay, now, do you think God knows that? Do you think God knows we need this building?" "Oh, yes, Father. I'm sure God knows we need this building." I said, "Okay, well, if we need it, and God knows we need it, don't you think He's going to take care of it for us?" "Well, yes." I said, "Okay, good. Well, go ahead, Go ahead with the building project. Go take out a loan, and God will take care of it for us." And so, being a very obedient monk, he did what his superior said. And he went to their local bank to take out this big loan, big loan. And he went to talk to the banker, and in his meeting, he was talking, "Okay, so, wow, you need that much." "Yes, you need that much." "Okay, very good. Now, do you have any assets or anything?" No." "Good. Do you, I don't know, do you have anyone who's going to stand in for, stand as security, make sure we get our money back?" And he said, "Yeah, no." I said, "Oh, okay, good. Well, we said, "Well, yes." He said, "Well, who?" He said, "Saint Joseph." "Who?" "Saint Joseph." "Well, I'm sorry, but it's not very reliable for me, so I can't help you." I said, "Okay, very good." So he left, but he wasn't discouraged. He was under obedience. He went to another bank. And same thing, "Okay, you need that much." "Yes, we need that much." "Okay, good. Do you have any assets?" "No." "All right. What kind of an income do you make?" "Oh, we don't have one. We're monks, we have about poverty." "Oh, good." And so, do you have anyone who's going to stand for security for you?" "Well, yes, St. Joseph." "Joseph?" But in the end, Father managed to convince him to lend him the loan. So he agreed to give him the loan. And so he gave it to him. And with this money, they were able to start the building project. And of course, right away they sent out, letters to friends and benefactors, "Please help the monks raise this money." And slowly but surely, from all over France, little donations started coming in, more and more over the weeks and over the months. And they started getting all this, all these donations were coming in from, big donations. And because, and in the end, from what I remember, it was in an incredibly short amount of time. I think it was like a year. In a year, they were able to pay off that huge loan from the bank completely, and everything was taken care of. And they had their new building, their new addition, and without any debt. The funny thing is that when they were receiving these donations, of course, they were writing their checks out to the monks, and they were going to the monks' local bank, which was where Father went to first. And it was that banker who told him no. And so, of course, all this money is coming to his bank, and then every week it goes out. And so for a year, he saw all of this money coming in and all of this money going out. And he thought, what is going on? So he called Father Matthew back, brought him to his office, and he rolled out the red carpet, pulled out some chocolates, had Father sit down, and he said, "Now, Father, I just have one question." "Yes?" "Who is this Saint Joseph?" So Saint Joseph really is a great patron of all religious because religious are those who give their lives to God, and he takes them under his care and all their material and spiritual needs. And so just a few words on the religious life. What is a religious? As many of you know, a religious is one who consecrates their life to God through the vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience in a congregation approved by the church. So it's one who gives their life to God. And often it helps when we have an image or a symbol, for example, like a chalice. Before a chalice is consecrated, it's just a piece of metal. But after that consecration, after it's consecrated for the service of God, it's set apart. It's something, it's raised up. It's not like the other, ordinary pieces of metal. It's something sacred, used for the service of God alone. And so it's the same for a religious who consecrates her life to God. They're set apart. Whatever the chalice is only used for the service of God. And so for a religious, all of her actions, her words, even her thoughts should tend to the greater honor and glory of God. And she does this through her vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. So those vows, they're not ends in themselves. The Archbishop stressed often, we don't sacrifice for the point of sacrifice. We sacrifice for love, for God. And so these vows, they're